What's up, everybody? Welcome to Human Innovation Tarot. My name is Eddie with Imagine Life Development Center. And this reading is for those of you who are wondering about a past person. So this is a relationship reading, and you have a past person on your mind. It could be a past relationship, or maybe you suspect or have been maybe intuitively feeling that potentially somebody from your past is coming back, or maybe they have come back. Anything having to do with a past person, this is the reading for you. If you're new to my channel, I would appreciate it if you would consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel. Also, just really quick, want to tell you guys about an opportunity here that you may be interested in. So if you come to my channel, obviously you made it here. Let me switch screens. Switch screens over here. So if you come to my channel here, obviously I feel like you've navigated here, and you go to videos and you scroll down on the videos to the Conscious Collective, this video right here, okay? The Conscious Collective group in 2025. Now, the Conscious Collective is a group that I'm starting with my dear friend, Trudy, which you can go check out her channel. It's Soul Tribe Tarot. And essentially everything you need to know about the group is in the presentation there in that video. So go watch it if you're interested. But basically, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to join a community of like-minded people who are very serious about their personal development and their spiritual growth. So this isn't like an interest group or a hobby group. This isn't just about tarot. It's not just about generic spirituality. Like, this is for those who are extremely serious about your personal development, your personal growth, and being a part of a community where essentially we're going to help you transform your life and take your power back and basically, become the best version of yourself and get whatever you want out of life. So I'm going to be talking about this moving forward on my channel. So, if you're new, welcome. You're going to hear me repeat this a lot. If you stick around, you're going to hear me mention this a lot. And obviously, for those of you that have been around, then you're gonna hear me, bring this up quite a bit. So that information is there. I wanted to point that out to you guys because we're going to be opening the group soon this month. We'll officially have our launch, our grand opening, if you will. And so for those of you that are interested, all the information you need to know about the group is there. And of course, you can also contact me directly. All of that information is in the description box, my email, everything you need to know if you want to join or find out more about the Conscious Collective group. So with that being said, what we're going to take a look at first is we're going to take a look at the kind of just the current condition that this relationship is in. Okay. So like, where do you stand with this person right now from your past? All right. And then we're going to look at essentially what the biggest hurdle, obstacle, and challenge is currently. Now, doesn't mean that, you could have had many challenges with this specific person and relationship in the past. This would be like, the current challenge, maybe not the ones you've had in the past, but the ones that are affecting it right now, presently. And then basically, we're going to look at what's in your highest good regarding this situation, and obviously we're just going to let God, source, the universe, spirit, we're going to let the messages come through, whatever those are, but whatever's in your highest good, should you consider this person, is there, is it in your highest good to, give it a second chance? Should you move on? Whatever comes out, right? So, we're just going to go ahead and dive on in. So, first card out, we're going to take a look at is, what is the current condition? Where do you stand with this person from your past right now? Where does the collective stand? Now, your sign doesn't matter. This is an all signs reading, so take it as it resonates. If it resonates for you, then it's probably your reading. If it doesn't resonate for you, don't force it to resonate with you. It's just not for you. It doesn't mean that a future reading won't be, but it just means that this one isn't. And this is obviously, we've just entered into 2025. We're just a couple days into the new year. So this is really, like near future energy. So for like, these are the conditions surrounding this potential past circumstance, past person, past relationship. This will be like in the next 30 days is what I'm pulling on here. Okay. So between now and going into early February. So the first card out is community. So this person is potentially, part of a network of friends of friends. They could literally be in your community. They could live near you, or basically, in maybe a little bit more of a metaphorical sense, this person is wanting to rejoin your community, so to speak, right? So you guys have been apart. This person wants to kind of re-enter your life here, be part of the community again, so to speak. So we'll see. I'll clarify more on this in just a second. I'm going to get the other two cards out. So that's the current condition. So what's the biggest hurdle, obstacle, and challenge? Hurdle, obstacle, and challenge. What's the largest challenge here regarding this past relationship? Okay, yeah, secrets, obviously. So there was a lot of dishonesty, there were secrets, could have been betrayal, lies, deception, all that kind of shit. All right, so that's pretty straightforward. So then what is in the collective's highest good? What do you really want them to know right now? All right, we have fulfillment in reverse. So essentially right now, the universe is saying that this relationship with this person, this person coming back into your life, in the condition, or if this person were to emerge in their life. Now, I'm going to have to clarify this because I'm getting two energies off of this card. The first energy is this person is very unhappy right now, hence probably why they're coming back. Because let's face it, there's a reason that people from our past that we have disconnected from, that we have moved on from, that we have accepted the reality of that situation, whether we wanted to or not. We can't control what other people do or don't do, right? So, it's kind of like we have to accept the cards that are dealt to us in a lot of cases, right? So if the challenge here was deception, lies, betrayal, secrets, and all that kind of stuff, it's like, you know what I mean? Like we can't force somebody to not lie. We can't force somebody to tell the truth and be a person of integrity, of character and values and all of that. Right. And it's the old saying that hurt people hurt other people. And so unfortunately, there's a lot of hurt people out in the world who aren't healing and doing the inner work to overcome said hurts from their past, from whatever happened to them. And so, they're going out into the world and they're paying that hurt forward because, somewhere, in their unconscious or subconscious, they believe that, they basically believe that if they don't, put themselves first at all costs, then they'll just continue to get hurt. And so eventually people who've been hurt, they kind of reach a threshold, a breaking point, if you will, or kind of like they make a decision in their life to where it's like, hey, you know what? To ensure that I never get hurt again, I'm just going to focus unapologetically on me, and this is what we call bad selfish. These are people that, they don't care about the effects or the damage done to other people. And they justify it because it's like, well, I had shitty things done to me. So, and everybody does shitty things to others. They have a belief system that basically everybody does harm to people. Everybody's guilty. Everybody's dishonest. Everybody hurts everybody else, right? So that's their justification for their bad behavior a lot of times. It's like, oh no, everybody cheats, everybody lies, everybody steals, everybody fucks everybody over, everybody does this. It's not just me. And so they justify, their poor value system because they lowered the standard of who they were based on experiences they had with other people who hurt or betrayed them. And so now they're betraying themselves by basically keeping their standards low, right? So, but that doesn't lead you to a fulfilling life. It can't lead you to a fulfilling life, right? We can't live in spiritual bankruptcy, and we can't live like this and have this fulfillment. And so this person, hindsight's always 20/20. And depending on the type of connection you had with this person, like if you had a deep, if you had a soul contract with this person, or you just a deep connection, you treated this person right, like deep down inside of them, when somebody knows that they've been loved, even if they won't acknowledge it, and even if they didn't reciprocate it in a way where you would have felt like they even cared, because a lot of people that past person, they didn't give a shit about me, they didn't care about me, clearly because they treated me A, B, C, X, Y, Z. Well, that's not necessarily true. And I know this is going to sound, kind of paradoxical based on everything that I'm saying, but it's not that black and white. Like sometimes we judge people for the way that they treat us without considering that there's actually a lot more going on underneath that person, right? And I'm not saying that someone's poor treatment of us, is fair, it's good, it's right, and that we shouldn't pay attention to it. Absolutely we should. However, I think that the more that we, invest in our spiritual and personal development, the more detached that we can become and look at things objectively from the 50,000 foot view, look at the bigger picture a lot of times, is realizing that paradoxes do exist. We live in a dualistic reality. So it's very possible for people who are deeply hurt, deeply scared, who betray themselves frequently by doing this kind of stuff, right? It's very possible that deep down inside of them, they actually do care about you. They can have love for you. It's just that the relationship that they have to the concept or the idea or the experience or the emotions that are called love can be very toxic. They can have a toxic relationship with the concept of love for many reasons. Could be childhood trauma, trauma or abuse or experiences they had with other partners and past relationships. The list goes on and on and on. And again, I'm not saying that this is, I'm not saying that makes the way that they've treated you or the way they treat us okay. It's not okay. Poor treatment, bad behavior is poor treatment and bad behavior, period. But it's more about trying to be a student of life and learning, right? There's always opportunities for growth and learning in everything. And so, regardless of where you stand, obviously, we have more of a reading to get into here, but just kind of, as we're just kind of dipping our toe into this situation, this past a relationship here, it might be worth noting that let's be a student of life here. Let's learn something. If all else, regardless of if you're done with this person, you're done with this person for good. You know that you're done with this person. In fact, you're like, I know exactly who he's talking about. I know that it's that person, and no, I don't want to see them again. No, I don't care about them again. No, I never want to hear from them again. Well, you're here, and for some reason, this reading called to you. There's something inside of you that made you want to come and watch this video, right? So here you are watching a video about somebody that, logically you're saying, I don't have anything to do with them. Well, if that were true, then you would just turn the video off and just go about your business. But the fact that you're still here listening to me and watching me means that, well, there's obviously something here. There's some reason why you're wanting to stick around. Well, maybe that reason is because there's something more for you to understand and learn, even if it is done and over and you're never going to see or hear or talk to this person again, right? So for some of you, this video might be nothing more than a spiritual nugget of truth, knowledge, something you're supposed to learn or acquire or understand that will empower you as you move forward, right? So that's for some of you. Now, for the rest of you, obviously, it's, we have to get into the rest of the reading and see where this goes, but you can still learn something. You can still have understanding about something, and maybe a deeper level of insight into this person without the judgment will give you some type of clarity that you didn't have before. Because when we're judging somebody, and we're judging things based on just the outward behavior, the surface level stuff. And again, I'm not saying that bad behavior isn't bad behavior, and I'm not saying that we shouldn't pay attention to that, right? We should. I'm saying that the more that we elevate in our consciousness and we, master ourselves and our own spirituality, then it's not so black and white. It's not so simple. It's not so quick judgment on things, right? It's like, well, hold on, let's try to be detached from the situation emotionally. Let's remove ourselves from the judgment, and let's be a neutral observer, and let's try to understand something here, right? And let's just see what it is that I need to know, right? So with that being said, I do want to switch back over and just mention one other thing. I forgot to mention this at the beginning of the video, so I'm going to mention it now. So here we'll have this image. And before we go any further in this reading, it's very important for you guys, because this is how I'm going to do my readings moving forward in the new year, right? As, basically as a reader, back in the day, I used to do the same type of predictive readings like every other tarot reader. And I realized that goes against what I believe. It goes against my call and my purpose in life. And my mission and purpose in life is to help people become the magician. I'm here to help you become a powerful person. And in order for us to be a powerful person, we have to take responsibility and accountability for the only thing that we can control, which is ourselves. And what is the purpose of this? Like, okay, what does that mean, being a powerful person? Well, it means that we create our reality, right? Instead of waiting around for reality to be created for us, right? So many people who are unfulfilled and unhappy are waiting on love. You want a better job, you want more money, you want better health, you want a better body, whatever that thing is. It's up to you to create it. But out here in tarot world, there's so many readers out there, and I'm not knocking those readers. I mean, they're just doing their job. They're doing their thing. It's really more about the viewers, watching tarot readings and just wondering and waiting when life is magically going to change for them, just because the tarot reader, the psychic said it would, or they predicted it might, or they predicted that it would, whatever the situation is. That is a powerless form of existing, because that's not how reality works. Like, you can't just sit and do the same thing over and over and over again and expect a different result. That's the definition of insanity, right? Nothing changes until we change. And so what I want you guys to think about as we progress into this reading, okay? What are you focused on? Where is your focus? This is the number one important thing about as we go into this reading together here. And I'm going on this journey with you. Yes, I'm the messenger, I'm the reader, but I'm here with you. Right? I'm going on this journey with you as we go into this as we look at this past relationship. Where's your focus? Are you focused on what you can control, or are you focused on what you can't control? Right? It's going to be one or the other. Now, obviously, if you're a powerful person, you're focused on what you can control. If you're being powerless, then you're focused on what you can't control. Now, where are you looking? Are you looking inward? Are you being the magician? Are you focused on all the tools, the resources, and the power that you have to create the reality that you desire? Or are you focused outwardly? You think that things are just going to come to you magically, right? And then we have some questions here, right? And you can just answer these questions in your mind throughout the reading, or you can answer them now. I need blank. What do you need in your life? You need more money. You need, a relationship. What do you need? I crave. What are you craving in life right now? I crave more happiness. I crave more health. I crave, more love and connection. I want what? What is it that you want? Do you want love? You want more money? You want success? You want, to find your purpose, your passion in life? What do you want? I desire blank. You get the point, right? So having answered those questions, where are you focused? Are you focused out on the external world in terms of receiving that thing? It's like, well, I want relationships. And so you're focused outside of yourself, waiting for the relationship to magically show up, or are you focused inward? What are you doing to create the relationship, to manifest the relationship, to do your part in getting the acquiring of the relationship? If it's money, if it's a job, success, whatever it is, a new house, a new car, right? Because this is what true spirituality is about. All of us turning our focus inward, connecting to our power source. This is what the infinity symbol is above the magician here, so that we can go out into the world and we can create the abundance and the fulfillment that we seek. We're not just sitting, we're not being in reactive mode, waiting for life to make things happen for us. We are in a creative mode. We're co-creating with the divine to acquire or manifest the things that we want, right? So as we go through this reading, this is the template from now on that I'm going to be using for all of my readings. I'm going to be mentioning this in all my future readings because I want you guys to get out of the powerless mentality. I want you to get out of the rat race tarot readings because, jumping from one reader to the next reader to the next reader to the next reader, watching the same kinds of readings about whatever it is that you're looking for, right? Which is why I had the questions here, because that's what you're watching tarot readings for. Each one of these questions is one of the reasons why you're watching tarot readings. You're watching tarot readings about relationship, about money, about moving, about whatever your situation is. That's why you're watching these readings, right? And you can keep doing it and doing it and doing it. You can do this shit for years and still be in the same place that you are right now with nothing to show for it. It can become very obsessive, very addictive because, watching these readings gives you hope for something that you don't have. And that's why it becomes so addictive. It's like breadcrumbing. You're breadcrumbing yourself. You're dangling the carrot in front of yourself going, well, am I going to get it? It's going to happen this month. Is it going to happen this month? Is it going to happen today? Is it going to happen this week? Is it going to happen this year? Am I finally going to meet the person? Am I finally going to get the job? Am I finally going to get the money? Instead of just taking your power back, being a powerful person, and creating the reality that you desire. Okay, so that's the template. So if basically, when it's all said and done, if your life is the same way next week, next month, 5 months from now, a year from now, you're going into January 2026 and not much in your life has changed, this is why, right? It's not because, you're responsible. You're the magician. It's up to you to create the change that you want to see in your life, all right? And so we're going to be referring back to that, and I'm going to, continually mention this to you guys because I want you guys to rewire your brain so you can recreate your reality and get the reality that you want in all regards, right? So we want to show up powerfully no matter where this reading takes us is the point here, okay? So let's take a look really quick now that I've gone through all of that, and I meant to say all that at the beginning, but it's fine. Let me get a deck of cards here. Let's take a look at, we're going to clarify this community card real quick. So again, this is where the current situation is right now. Like where do you stand with this person from your past right now? Why is the community card here? So we have the Nine of Swords. We have the World. Give me one more. I already know exactly what this means. Six of Cups. Yeah. Okay. So it's very clear. This message is very clear. So where things stand with this person right now, and maybe you feel this way, maybe you don't, but primarily this is their energy. And if you resonate with it for yourself, that's perfectly okay too. And it might. But primarily it's this person's energy. So right now, this person is unsure. They're going through a lot of turmoil right now, and there's two energies attached to this Nine of Swords. The first energy that's attached to the Nine of Swords is the energy of they're super, super stressed out. They're in a lot of turmoil right now over whatever the situation was that's related to this. Okay. So, basically they're kind of having a little bit of a come to Jesus moment, whether they've fully acknowledged it or not. Like they know that what they did was wrong, essentially. So this is their conscience, basically. This is them essentially sitting in the negative energy of basically having a guilty conscience. That's one of the energies here. I said two energies attached to it. There's actually three energies. So the first energy with the Nine of Swords here is tied to a guilty conscience for the lies, the betrayal, the deception, all of that, right? This is what's going on inside of them. Whether or not, they'll express this or about this, or you've seen any of this from them, or whether they've expressed it to anybody else. Probably not, because most people who are in that type of energy have a tendency to mask, because they don't want to be known for their crimes, right? A villain, a murderer, a rapist, people who do bad things in life, and I'm not saying your person is one of those. I'm using extreme examples here, but it doesn't matter. People who lie, people who cheat, people who sleep around, people, whatever they do, right? They drink too much, they have an addiction, they smoke too much, whatever. People don't want to be known by their bad, the negative qualities about them. People want to be viewed as good, right? So that's just a normal human pattern, right? Nobody wants to be known for, being an asshole or a shit stain. They want people to think highly of them and to see them for the good qualities, not for the bad. So, this person, whether you know it or not, the bottom line is they have a guilty conscience about the fact that they were kind of a shit stain. All right. The second energy attached to the Nine of Swords is the fact that they're basically messed up. Stronger term, actually. Pardon my French, but they're kind of mind fucked right now. They've dug themselves into this negative black hole energy of overthinking, depression, despair, anxiety, I would say maybe even borderline panic attacks. Maybe they've even had breakdowns when nobody's watching, like when they're at home and no one's watching, and then they feel so alone, they feel so broken, they just, maybe they cry themselves to sleep, they just have, or maybe they get angry and they scream at themselves and they hit their pillow. There's all kinds of that energy here tied into this Nine of Swords, because this person is very hurt and they're very broken, but whoever this person was tied to, right? And it could have been one person specifically, it could have been multiple people, but I feel that this person specifically was tied to somebody else, and that was one of the major factors, so when you were with them, because again, this was a past person, when you were with this person, they obviously had their options open, or they had their foot out the back door, they were connected to somebody else. And obviously you found out about it. Somehow the truth came to light, and that played a part obviously into the ending of this past relationship. That may not be everybody's story, but for some of you, that's how it played out. Now, obviously, this person who thought maybe the grass was greener with their whoever that third party was, or whatever that situation was. The third party can be lots of things, but for many of you, it was another person that they either had their eye on, they were sleeping with, or they were tied up with, or a trauma bond or toxic relationship, or could have been, a baby's daddy, a mama's dad, or a mom, whatever the female, a baby's mama, I guess is the right word. It could have been any of that. Well, that situation didn't go so well for them. So whoever they were tied to, they were getting karma. Basically, they were receiving their karma from the karmic partner that they were cheating on you with, or involved with, or a karmic situation. It doesn't have to be a partner. So, but that's the second energy tied to this Nine of Swords, is they got their karma and they're feeling it. So their life is not in a good place right now. They thought that they were going to have you, and then they thought that they were going to have their little secret affair relationship with this other person, and they thought they could have it all, and they could have it both, and they thought whatever they were thinking, it basically spiraled. This person's probably been through some tower moments. Their life's probably gotten blown up. God knows what kind of shit they've gone through since they've been disconnected from you. But it's implied. The card isn't on the table, but it's implied. So that's the second energy. The third energy attached to the Nine of Swords is just the obvious energy that they're afraid that it's over. They're afraid that they have, they're having this come to Jesus realization where they realize, like, the grass wasn't greener. All of you out there that are watching this, you loved them. You genuinely loved them. You cared for them. And I'm not saying no one's perfect. I'm not saying that when you're with this this person, you did everything perfect. There's no such thing as a perfect relationship or a perfect person. But they realized that you were genuine. You were authentic. You were real. You were consistent. You weren't a liar. You weren't a betrayer. You weren't trying to hurt them. And you actually did care about them, and you actually did love them. And then now, hindsight's not only 2020, but hindsight's real 2020 when you're in the Nine of Swords. Like, it's like, this person basically almost having like a midlife crisis, realizing, like, am I ever gonna be happy? Am I ever gonna find my fulfillment in life? Will I ever be happy ever again? Or am I doomed? Am I cursed? This is kind of like when people start thinking that kind of stuff. Maybe I'm just cursed. It's like, no, you're not cursed. You just made a bunch of really poor and shitty decisions in your life that you didn't take responsibility for. You were being a powerless person. Remember the slide that we had up here a second ago, right here. They were not being a powerful person. They were being a powerless person, right? That was their problem. Their problem was that they weren't being the magician. But, that's where the whole victim mentality and blame and entitlement and all that shit comes from. It's that people, who really think that, life is against them. The universe is against them. God is against them. Woe is me. And it's like, no, you created this. You were the one who was dishonest. You betrayed yourself. You let other people betray you. You allowed your limiting beliefs and your fear to suppress your highest and true self. Right? And unfortunately, there's a cause and effect for everything in life, and that's what this person allowed. But I feel like, while they're over here in crisis mode in the Nine of Swords, they feel like they're cursed. But obviously, there's a lot of fear here. Getting back to the reading here, there's a lot of fear here that the World card. There's a lot of fear that this could be over. Now, the second energy attached to the World is that it's coming full circle. This person is probably, if you haven't heard from them yet, you're probably going to hear from them at some point. Now, again, this is, relatively speaking, within the next 30 days. I can't promise you that it's going to be, this person's going to show up in the next 30 days. It's not how it works. Energy is fluid, right? Every time we make a free will decision, it changes a timeline. But this person is going to come full circle, and they're hoping that it's not over. They're thinking a lot about the past. The Six of Cups is memories, nostalgia, reflecting back on the past, the things that they did in the past, but also reflecting on the good times, realizing, like, man, this person, you all that are watching, unless you're the cross watcher who did the fucked up shit, which if you were, I'm not judging you because you have a chance for redemption here. But I think obviously most of you are the person who was wronged in this situation. Well, they're thinking about the good, all the good things you did for them, the way that you treated them. You actually did love them and care about them. So this is them thinking about all of that with the Six of Cups. But again, it's also the energy of, hey, you have this past person who wants to come back and reconcile. Now, they're in the Two of Swords. So this is tied to the fear too. They're afraid that you're done. Two of Swords, blocked. I don't want anything to do with you. It's done. It's over. And some of you may have blocked this person. Or maybe they blocked you. Maybe they tried to block you out because they were afraid that, let me get my cursor off the screen. They were afraid that you were going to discover even more secrets, right? because it's an interesting thing with people who, live these secretive lives. It's not usually not just the one that comes out into the open. It's like, if you could go into their little treasure trove of secrets, their little closet, they have all kinds of secrets, because people who are dishonest have typically or usually been dishonest for a very long time. People who are typically cheaters and liars are, they've been cheaters and liars for a very long time. So I don't think that this person in your past, I don't think this is their first rodeo. Now, I'm not saying that they were doing all of that with you, but, there's just, again, there's a lot of things that they probably don't want you to know about, because that would, the fear is that the more that you know about the secretive life that they've been living, the dishonest life they've been living, then the more disinterested you would be. You'd be like, oh my God, like you really are kind of fucked up. You've been doing this shit, and you've done this and that and all these things. Like, they don't want you to know all of that. They know it's bad enough. The fact that you found out about whatever they did, that's enough. It's like, I don't want them to know anything else, because if they know more, whatever teeny tiny little chance I might have, which for some of them, they may not have a chance at all, but again, they're holding on to this shard of hope that maybe, just maybe, they can somehow come back to you, and maybe you'll hear them out, something like, for some of them, it's like, they know they're probably going to need a miracle. For some of them not. Some people are just, how do I say it? I mean, some people are just so full of themselves and so arrogant, so egotistical. It's like, they'll just fucking show up at your, with full confidence. Like, here I am. Like, wow, you got some balls. You got some balls rolling up in here, like Mr. or Mrs. Confident, after all the shit that you did. Right? But some people are like that. Now, obviously, I don't think that's how your person is, or this person, because they're in that 9 of Swords, and they're super concerned or stressed out that you don't want to talk to them. You're done with them. You don't want anything to do with them. You could have blocked them. They could have blocked you. And if they did block you, again, the reason that they blocked you was because they didn't want you to get more information about their secretive life that they were probably still living. They didn't want you collecting more data, more information, and they had that guilty conscience. They know they hurt you. And so when people know that they've done you wrong, they try to hide, because they're trying to hide from the guilt that they've caused you, because they know that you actually loved them and cared about them, and that they hurt the one person who actually genuinely, truly loved and cared for them. And that's just the true power of love. When love is real and pure and honest, that's where guilt comes from. It's that the guilty person knows, like, man, this person really did love me, and that's why I feel guilty, right? Or if you were a cheater and a shit stain, and they're a cheater and they're a shit stain, they wouldn't matter, because then they would just, that person could justify their bad behavior and say, well, what are you going to do? You're going to blame me for the same things you're doing? Are you going to try to be a hypocrite and say, oh, I'm the bad guy when you're doing the same things I'm doing? You know what I mean? Like, people don't get guilty consciences around other people who are doing the same shitty things, right? Misery love company, right? Birds of a feather flock together. When and it's interesting, because usually that's the company or the types of friends that these people will keep. They'll be around people, and they'll find a group of friends who will co-sign their bullshit, co-sign their powerlessness, and they all kind of have the same value system. They all kind of think the same way. They believe the same way. They behave the same way. So if this person was a cheater, they're probably around other people who cheat, or at least they're okay with it. They don't see a problem with it, or they're around people that betray them. It's like if you're an assassin living in a den of thieves, then it's only a matter of time before one of the assassins comes after, to kill or steal from you. You can't live in a den of murderers and thieves and not think that, when you turn around, someone's going to take an opportunity to stick a knife in your back, right? It's like people who live in, federal prison. and they kill each other all the time. You think the murderer who's locked up for life with all the rest of the murderers, and he's like, I'm in here for life. I'm not going anywhere. And there's all these other murderers in here. Do you think they give a shit if they kill somebody else? What's their punishment? You know, it's inconsequential for them. Like, I'm locked up for life. It doesn't matter if I kill somebody. I'm already here for my life. And they're a murderer anyways. You know, they probably deserve to die in their minds. And, you know, this is the negative thinking of people who surround themselves with the same type of low vibrational energy, the same type of powerless people with powerless thinking. And so this person, you know, they're not around people who are calling him out and saying, hey man, you know, what are you doing? Like, why are you lying? Why are you cheating? Why are you acting this way? Why are you trying to hurt people? Why are you betraying yourself? They're not around people who are holding them to a high standard or calling them out on their bullshit, you know, or just trying to speak life into them, encourage them and say, hey, look, you don't have to make that choice. You don't have to live your life this way. You don't have to live in scarcity mentality and cheat and betray and lie. You don't have to you don't have to be the hurt person that's paying your hurt forward to other people who don't deserve it. You know, like do the work, heal yourself, overcome your pain, your bitterness, your past, and your resentments. Whoever did whatever they did to you that's turned you into the person that you currently are, like, work through that shit. Hold yourself to a high standard, right? And become a decent human being and pay that forward. Go out to the world and heal people, empower people, right? But when you're surrounded with people, and again, this is tied to the community because the community card actually talks about the people who share the same type of shitty behavior that they do, which is why they don't have any accountability in their life. So they don't have any accountability for themselves. Like, why should I have accountability? I'm not around anybody who has accountability. And when you're sharing company with people that are doing all the same things that you're doing, you come to the belief that that's just the way that it is in the world, when that's not true. It's like, well, everybody else is doing it. Well, no, not everybody else is doing it. Just the people that you surround yourself with are doing it. And that's not everybody, right? That's just you, unfortunately, making another shitty decision and choice, another powerless choice in your life to choose to keep company with a bunch of other shitty people who are choosing to be powerless. And so now you're around all these people that are doing shitty things. And so now you just have this warped perception of the world, thinking that everybody in the world is shitty and everybody in the world is doing shitty things. So, you know, you can't come out, you can't judge me. You can't judge me for being a shitty person and being a liar and a cheater and betrayer and all this because everybody else is doing it too. That's their justification. That's their reasoning, or at least it probably was at some point, or maybe to some degree it still is. But all that's saying is that this person, you know, has tolerated the lowest possible standard for themselves. And hindsight being 2020, they're having this come to Jesus moment, and they're having a realization now, like, if I keep living this way, if I keep accepting this powerless way that I'm living, I'm going to be fucking miserable the rest of my life. Because again, the people that they surrounding themselves with, they can't even trust them. It's like, you know, so you're just going to be completely lonely and disconnected from everybody in your life because you can't even trust your close friends, because your close friends are going to betray you because that's who they are. Nobody can trust anybody. And yet it's like, okay, well, you know, I have to, you know, I want to have somebody in my life. So it's like they're willing to tolerate being around other people that are just as toxic as they are. But it's very lonely because, you know, everybody's watching over each other's shoulders because, you know, everybody knows that each one of these people have the capability of stabbing him in the back. And if they turn around for too long, they probably will. And if they get caught, they'll say, hey, can't get mad at me because you're just as guilty as I am. You do the same things that I do. So it doesn't matter if I'm the one that stabbed you in the back, because if I turn around, you would have stabbed me in the back. Right? And so it's this whole toxic culture that this person has been involved in. And now they're having this come to Jesus moment of like, I can't keep living this way because I'm just going to be fucking miserable. Right? So, you know, so there's all of that. But definitely this person is super, super, super stressed the F out about coming back towards you. Because they don't know if they have a chance in hell if you'll even hear them out, right? So let's go in here. Obviously, the obstacle and the challenge here is self-evident with the secrets, but I'm going to pull cards on it anyway. Because, there might be some information that we need to know about. Okay, so yeah, this person, they know they're going to come towards you. They know that, hey, look, there's two energies attached to the Ace of Swords. The first thing is they're having this come to Jesus moment, and it's really clear to them now. It's very clear and it's very apparent to them with the Ace of Swords. Like, I can't keep lying to myself, right? I can't keep pretending like that I'm happy, I'm fulfilled with this toxic life that I've been living. That's the come to Jesus moment. This is the sword of truth. And in some tarot decks, they call it, Archangel Michael's sword of truth, in that sense. So, and that's just a metaphor, again, of a divine being, an angel, basically, piercing you with the sword, piercing your conscience with the sword of truth, so that you, whether or not you're willing to embrace the truth, that's totally different. But you know the truth. So this person is having this come to Jesus awakening, this reality, this awakening of themselves, realizing my life is miserable. 9 of Swords. My life is miserable, and I know it's my fault. So the divine is kind of like pointing them out with the sword of truth. The divine is calling them out and saying, the reason that your life is miserable is because you were being a shit stain. And you weren't taking accountability. You were being a powerless person instead of a powerful person, right? And if you want your life to change, if you want to stop being a miserable person, then you're going to have to own up to the truth. You're going to have to take accountability and responsibility for all the things that you've done wrong, and you're going to have to stop doing this shit, this secretive shit. Betraying yourself and betraying others. Harming yourself and harming others, right? So that's one side of the energy. The divine is calling them out, and they intuitively, they know. Now, again, whether they're acknowledging it fully or not, that's a whole other thing. They have free will. People get bombarded with the truth all the time, and they still blow it off because for whatever reason, they're just not done living the toxic lifestyle. Some people, they get in real deep and it gets real toxic and they get addicted to that toxicity. And it's like no amount of truth is pulling them out, and some people just, if they're really honest, they're just not ready, right? It's like, I don't know if I want to give that up yet. I don't know if I want to give up the player lifestyle and the cheating and the affairs and the thrill and the excitement. I don't know if I want to give it up. Well, okay. But the divine is still calling this person out, regardless of wherever they are within themselves, having this come to Jesus moment and having this information, basically smacking them right in the face. So what do we need to know about this is that they know. This person is absolutely crystal clear about why they're miserable. They can't pretend to be a victim. They can't pretend like, oh, why my life so miserable? Am I cursed? Is life so bad? No. The divine has shown them. They know. They know whether they'll admit it or not, whether they're showing it or not, inside of themselves, when they're all by themselves at night, and it's just them and their miserable selves, they know. They know that it's their fault. And the divine has shown them, this is you. This is your problem. This is your fault. This is yours to fix. This is up to you to get out of the shit that you've allowed yourself to sink to, this level of low that you've allowed yourself to sink to. It's up to you to crawl out of this hole and become a better person. They're clear on that. Now, the second energy attached to this is the truth of knowing if they come towards you, they're going to have to take responsibility and they're going to have to own up and they're going to have to basically tell the secrets, which is everything I said back here. It's like, it's not just the one thing that you found out about. It's like, well, what about all the other secrets? Remember, I mentioned all the secrets in the closet because it's, people who lie have probably been lying a long time. People who've been they've probably been cheating for a long time. It's all of it. It's not just them coming to you and being sorrowful and admitting, oh yeah, I'm sorry, I did cheat on you. I did have a thing for that person. I was seeing that other person. It's not them just coming to you and admitting the wrong that they committed, the crime they committed against you, so to speak. It's them coming completely clean and saying, hey, I've been living my whole life. I've been living the entirety of my life for however many years I've been doing this. And you weren't the first person, and it's them basically needing to come forward and basically just admit the full truth to you about who they've been, not just the one thing that they did, but rather who they are, because the things that people do is a result of who they are on the inside, and that this is what this person's having to come clean with, and basically come and say, hey, I have a realization that I've been a very toxic person in my life because of ABC, XYZ, and I'm not saying that it's okay that these things happen to me or that I did these things to other people, but there's a need here for them to come forward and lay all it out on the table and just be 100% go for broke and just be completely honest and say, I wasn't taking accountability or responsibility for my life, my thoughts, my actions, decisions, my behavior. I know that now. And I want to change. I want to change my life, and I want to start taking accountability. And by doing so, this is the first step. The first step is getting out of denial, stop pretending that I don't have a problem, and come out here and lay my problem on the table. That's the only way to start getting your power back, is accountability. And they know that they need to do that with you if they remotely have even a chance with you, essentially. Or at least that's their thinking over here. Now you all, depending on some of you, like I said, some of you, if you're completely done with this person, then I guess I'm still a little bit confused of why you've watched it this far, other than maybe, you like my gray hair, or you got nothing better to do, and you just I just like watching, tarot reading, and I like looking at your gray hair, and it's entertaining for me. Well, hey, cool. You can, I'm not going to judge you. You're here, and you're like, screw that person. I don't care if I ever hear from them again, and I don't want to ever hear from them again, and I'm done with them. They can come back all they want, but, cool. I'm not here to judge you. You can still hang out. I'm all for it, whatever. But for those of you, some of you don't have the bitterness or the resentment. Some of you guys have grown and evolved. Some of you guys have healed. Some of you guys, you just kept, you have been a powerful person. You kept focusing on you, what you could control, on your own inner life. And yes, this person hurt you, but you found the treasure in the pile of shit, as I like to say. And you're like, you know what? It sucked. It hurt. But hey, you know what? I'm not going to let it get me down. I'm not going to let it distract me. I'm not going to let it throw me off my spiritual path. And some of you guys have just kept going, kept growing, and you've forgiven this person, and you might even have a degree of compassion for them. Just kind of like, man, they're just a really hurt and broken and lost person. And so, I can't expect somebody to give away what they don't have. I can't expect a lost, broken, and hurt person to show up and love me, and give that love back to me. And I realize that now. Maybe when I was with that person before, it wasn't so apparent that they were in that condition, because people, again, who have secrets, they're really good at wearing a mask. And so a lot of us, we fall in love with people like this because on the front side, they show up with the appearance to have all the things, right? No, man, this is going to be, they have this and that. They have their life together. They're faithful. They're loyal. They're committed. They're disciplined. It's like you can't find a red flag anywhere. But over time, eventually, that mask starts to slip and stuff starts coming out. And then a big something comes out, right? Or maybe the divine intervene. And it's like, hey, you know what? You're not going to lie to this person. You can go out here and you can, with all your other toxic friends where you're all just cheating on each other and you're all lying to each other. Well, that's one thing. But this person over here, you're not going to do that to them. And so when it came to you, the divine protected you by exposing this thing. They brought the truth to light, even though this person was maybe trying very hard to keep it secret from you. The divine's like, you're not keeping this secret from this person, right? Meaning you all watching. So you maybe were divinely protected in that regard. So the next card is we have strength. So this person is working up the courage and strength. There's two energies attached to this as well. The first one is the obvious one, which is they're working up the courage and strength to come to you because they know that they're going to have to tell the truth. Now, whether they do this or not, I don't know, but they're trying. Like they're trying to get the courage and strength to do it. But it's a toss-up. And the reason it's a toss-up is because it's 9 of Swords. 9 of Swords energy is like it's a very, very, very terrible energy to be in. For like that's desperation, which is hit or miss. Like some people, when they become desperate enough and hurt enough and broken enough, some people, that will actually get them out of their stubbornness and their stuck mentality and actually pushes them into action. But for a lot of people, it doesn't, so that's the only, this is the challenge for them. They're in this 9 of Swords and they're needing the courage, and strength to come communicate with you and be willing to tell you the truth and basically be ready to have that whole conversation. Basically, like deal with it head on and deal with their guilt, deal with their guilty conscience, tell the truth, hold themselves accountable, right? And just basically not know, and embrace the uncertainty of not knowing how you're going to respond. Right. And that's really one of the major reasons that they need the courage is because they don't know. They don't know how you're going to respond. Now, if they knew that you would take them back no matter what, then they wouldn't need the courage because they would already know the outcome. They'd be like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to go back to you all. This past person is coming back to you. If they knew that you were just going to take them back, they'd be like, oh, nothing to worry about. But they don't know. They have no idea what your response or your reaction is going to be, or if they can even get through to you, because again, we had that 2 of Swords over here. They're like, maybe I'll never hear from them again. So they're trying to work up the courage and strength to come to you. Now, the second energy that's attached to this is the compassion side of the strength card, right? They're hoping that if you do respond, if they can get in touch with you and if they can get their foot in the door and actually have a conversation with you, they're hoping that you'll show them some degree of mercy or compassion, even though they don't deserve it. And they know that they don't deserve it now. Okay. So this isn't like, they're hoping that you're just going to give them this free mercy and compassion because whatever. No, they know they don't deserve it. So they're just crossing their fingers like, man, I just hope that, despite all that I did to hurt you all out there, that at the very least they'll hear me out, accept an apology, or let me ask them for forgiveness, whatever they're planning, right? Because the Ace of Swords is also a card of communication, right? So yeah, and at the bottom of the deck we had that 6 of Wands, which is all about victory after a battle. And what is the battle? Well, right now it's the battle within themselves. And they're hoping that because before the 6 of Wands is the 5 of Wands. And the 5 of Wands is the chaos, the conflict, the competition, all the stuff that this person created. They created the conflict. They created the competition. They created this 9 of Swords that they put themselves in. And so that they're hoping that you'll have enough compassion that will give them a chance to be heard. So that's what the 6 of Wands is victory in the sense of, if I put forth the effort, will they at least hear me out? And so this is what they're hoping for. A victory of, if I take the courageous effort of reaching out, will they be responsive? Or are they going to tell me to go F myself, or are they going to block, or am I already blocked? All that kind of stuff, right? So let's take a look at the the fulfillment in reverse. Now, this was what's in your highest good, not in this person's highest good, what's in your highest good. Now, right now, this is showing that this obviously is this person created a lot of unfulfillment in your life. And so right now, the energy on the table is unfulfillment. But I don't know, we're going to find out if that means, hey, this person is toxic, and no matter how much apologizing, are they just going to go back and be a toxic person? Or this person just isn't right for you no matter what? Even if they changed, even if they became the best version of themselves, would you guys still just not be aligned? What all does this involve here? Okay, why is the fulfillment card in reverse here? And I know this is a long reading, but this is for those of you who really, 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 really have been, affected by this past person. It's because, if and when this person comes back, it's potentially a life-changing decision that you're going to have to make. So it's not something to be taken lightly. And if this was just a quick little cheesy predictive tarot read, then we could have done that in like 10 or 15 minutes and be on with it. But this person coming back is a real, it's a big deal, right? It's a potentially life-changing decision that will need to be made here. And so we have the Seven of Cups that just came out, which is all about choices and decisions here, right? It's also a card of confusion. So on one hand, when this person reaches out, I think it's going to take a lot of you guys off guard, and you're going to be really confused. Like, whoa, I didn't see this coming. This kind of came out of left field. And you're going to be kind of confused as to like why now? Why are you reaching out to me now? Why are you wanting to come into me now and tell me all of this? And I think that's like it just doesn't, something about it just won't seem to make sense to you. There will be an element of confusion there, right? Now, for some of you, you'll be extra cautious. That's what this is, extra cautious. Like it's like an all that glitters isn't gold. It's almost kind of like, I don't know if I can believe anything you tell me. So this is you like really being skeptical. Like, I don't know if I can believe anything you tell me. Like you're going to be paying real close attention to everything they say. You're going to be listening to your intuition. You're just going to be like, if I sense just the tiniest little thing is off here, I'm going to trust that. And hey, you know what? Thanks for the apology. Thanks for reaching out. Thanks for, whatever, saying you care. Thanks for the apology, but hey, you know what? We're not good for each other, whatever, right? However you respond. So some of that skepticism is in this card. Now, the major energy with this is the choice that you're going to have to make, right? And so I don't think it's going to be easy. I don't think it's going to be an easy decision for some of you, because I think some of you still have feelings for this person on some level, but some of you, even if you don't have feelings, some of you might actually sense that maybe this person has changed. And it may not be a complete change, but there's just something that's like, okay, well, I sense like if this person came to you and they told you the truth, they spilled the beans, they put it all out on the table for you, and they're basically like, look, this person comes to you and says, I've reached the end of myself. Like I'm miserable. I'm absolutely miserable. My life is a shit show, and I have no one to blame but myself. I've hit rock bottom basically, and I don't want to live this way anymore. And I know that I need to change. I'm going to change. And they're serious, and you can sense that they're serious. So this would be you almost wondering like, well, if this person does change and they did become the best version of themselves, could we work this out? So again, there's lots of scenarios here with the Seven of Cups, but here's the Page of Cups. Here is the offer. Nonetheless, the offer is coming from this person, and the Page of Cups is also the second energy attached to this is saying, hey, there is a chance for you to potentially start over with this person. And there is a little bit of emotion for a lot of you because the pages are small, energetic measurement. it's small in comparison to knights, queens, and kings. So there is a little bit of emotion here that a lot of you have for this person. Now, whether or not you're willing to admit that doesn't matter. That's between you and you. But some of you still have feelings for this person. What else does everyone need to know here? The Empress. Okay. So this is kind of like, the Empress is the embodiment of what you're looking for, right? And you're looking for this. Now, again, there's basically two outcomes here that I see. Or actually, I'm sorry, there's three outcomes. There's three outcomes here to kind of come full circle and close out this reading. There's three outcomes here. Yeah, and I can see it underneath this Ten of Cups here. The first outcome is the obvious one. This person comes back, and regardless of whether you listen to them or you hear them out or not, your defense is up, 7 of Wands, you're done. You're not having it. For some of you, this is done to the done. For some of you, it's zero chance. This person can come to you, they can promise you, they can say whatever they want. Even if this person came back completely 100% changed, they're in their Empress energy, they've completely revolutionized, transformed their entire life. They're the furthest thing from anything like they were before. It doesn't matter. Some of you are just done. You don't have those feelings for them anymore. Too much damage was done. Too much trust was broken. Okay? That's the first energy for a lot of you. It's done. It's over. Okay? Second group of you, there is, you're basically, you have your boundaries. You're still in that 7 of Wands energy of your boundaries, but you're basically just going to tell this person, like, look, I don't know. It's 50-50. The second group of you is 50-50. It's like, I'm looking for this. I'm looking for a powerful person who's in their Empress energy, right? Not victim, not entitlement, not blaming, and certainly not a cheater, not a liar, not all that other shit. I'm not looking for a toxic person. I'm looking for somebody who is a growth-oriented, solution-oriented person who takes personal responsibility and accountability for their life and the life that they create and the results that they get, period. I'm looking for someone that I can grow with, someone that is in alignment with me and my values, as someone that when I love them, they love me back. If I'm loyal to them, they're loyal to me. None of this toxic bullshit. And this is you basically just drawing a line in the sand and saying, if you're going to be a part of my life or even remotely have, a chance at being part of my life again, you're going to have to go become this. I need to see you go balls to the wall, full effort, and become the Empress. I need to see change. Don't come to me and just, words don't mean shit. An apology, a word of mouth apology, or a text message, or a letter, or just anything that's like words. It's like, okay, great, fine, that's nice. Thanks for the verbal apology, or the written apology, or the text apology, or the whatever. I don't care about that. I care about actions. Actions speak louder than words. And, I need somebody who can prove to me that they've changed. So if you can transform your life and you can change and you can show up and you can show me that you've changed, then maybe we can start all the way back over. All the way back over. Not where we left off, but maybe we can start all the way back over. And, we'll take it one day at a time. And I'm going to be watching you like a hawk to see if you've actually changed and become this Empress. And then if that person, if they value you enough and they want a second chance with you bad enough, then that will be part of the incentive for them to change. Now, it can't be the only reason that they want to change. If the only reason that they want to change is because they want you back, it's the wrong reason. Because, again, that's powerlessness. That's you doing something for reasons outside of yourself, right? Like what we showed here on our screen. What are you focused on? right? Are you inward focused or are you outward focused? Are you trying to get something because you're focused outside of yourself? Or are you trying to get something because you're being the magician and you're focused inside yourself? You're focused on your power. So it can't just be this person coming up and saying, oh, no, I'm going to change for you. No. I mean, it's okay if part of the reason that you want to change is for me, but it needs to be like 80-20. 80% of the reason that they want to change is because they're just sick and tired of their own miserable existence. Like, you need to want to change because you're a miserable human being and you're spiritually bankrupt. You need to want this for you. 80% of it needs to be for you at bare minimum. And then, okay, the 20% can be for me. That's fair. But if this person is just, I'm going to change for just you, nope, still toxic, still powerless, and it won't last. Because this person will start doing all this work just enough. And the minute that you give into them, because they're, oh, I'm going to change for you, I'm going to change for you. And they start doing enough work. Well, the minute that they get you back, what are they going to stop doing? The work. It's just how humans are, unfortunately. It's not a big enough why, right? Like, it's not a big enough reason for them to go through the change. So, that's the second group of you. Second group of you, you're going to be 50-50 right down the middle. And you might entertain it. You might be like, hey, depending on your level of change, depending on this person's level of change and their ability to prove it and do it for the right reasons will determine whether or not you entertain a future with them. Okay. Now, the third and last group of you, some of you, and this might be the smallest group of you. I would say maybe 10 to 5% of you, maybe 3% of you. I don't know, but it's definitely the smallest of the three groups that I've just mentioned. Some of you are going to work things out with this person. 10 of Cups is here. Somehow this person is going to show up and they're going to spill the beans. They're going to find the strength. They're going to find the courage to come to you. They're going to come to you clean. They're going to lay it bare. They're going to expose everything. They're going to take accountability. They're going to show up and they're going to be like, look, I have been living a lie. I have betrayed you. I've betrayed myself. I've betrayed the people that have loved me. I allowed myself to fall into this darkness, and I became a shell of myself, a shadow of myself. I was a shit stain. I treated you horribly. I can't change the things that I've done for you or done to you. But I'm going to become a better person for me. Like, I have to change me because I can't keep living this way, regardless of you. But, I love you. I realize hindsight 2020 that I fucked up. You're the love of my life. And I know that I have to get straight. I have to clean myself up. I have to get my act together, get my shit together for me. And I need to find I need to get connected to my highest path and my truth and my calling. And I need to get back on, I need to get on the path that I was always meant to be on. But I hope that maybe if it's at all possible that, if there's a chance where you can forgive me and be a part of, we can, give this another try, or however they say it. I don't know. I don't know how they're going to come to you and say it, but they're going to prove it to you. They're not going to, you're not going to ask them to do anything. You're not going to have to lay down the law. You're not going to have to tell them what to do or what changes to make. You're not going to do anything. This person's already going to know all of this because the divine has shown them. They've sat with it. They know the truth. They know what they need to work on. They know how they're going to have to show up. And they're basically just going to come to you and not just apologize and not just ask for forgiveness, but they're going to come to you and say, look, I'm going to change my life no matter what. I'm going to work on me for me. I'm going to change my life no matter what. And you're going to see it. You're going to know it. Something inside of you, you're going to see the difference. You're going to know the difference. You're going to sense the difference. And you still have the Seven of Wands energy too attached to you, even though you're group number 3. You're still going to be like, okay, well, sorry if I don't just trust you right now because you hurt me. And I need, it's probably going to take some time for me to actually see that you've changed and to learn to trust you. And this person's going to be okay with that. They're going to go, hey, look, I totally understand. I understand that I've completely destroyed your trust. I understand it might take you a really long time to ever trust me again, but I would do anything if I can to have you in my life on whatever level you'll allow me to be present, and I think that for those of you who still have feelings and you're like, all right, I'll let you prove it to me. I'll let you prove it to me that you're going to change, and you're going to change for you, and you're going to become a different person. And you're going to take it one day at a time. And for those of you in group 3, chances are, you're going to end up with this person. Okay. Or at least you'll have the chance to. The 10 of Cups is here. And this change, like basically they are essentially going to become the Empress. They're going to become the Empress. They're going to have a radical transformation. They're done with their past. They're done with all this shit. They're going to be a totally new human being. And there's an opportunity. Again, this is for a very small few of you, like 5 to 3% of you. Okay. There's an opportunity for you and this person to end up together and have a future together. Okay. So it's not, it's not all doom and gloom. But we all have free will here. I mean, you can be as done as you want with this person. And because they've betrayed you, you have every right to be. My advice, obviously, is to trust your intuition, trust your gut. And of course, for those of you who entertain the idea of seeing if this person, can change, if that's how they approach you. If you're in group number 2 and you're group number 3, if you're the 50-50 group, hey, just make sure that if they say they're going to change, make sure that you see results and make sure that they're doing it for the right reasons. Make sure they're not just doing it for you. And if you're group number 3, pretty much the same. Just this person is going to show up and prove to you, and you're open to the possibility of a different outcome than you had before with them, because they actually are remorseful and they're actually working hard on themselves, and you can see it. You can see the results. It's not just talk. It's not just words. They're actually proving it to you. Then I say, why not? Because the reality is no one's perfect. And I'm a person who believes in change. I'm a person who does believe in change. Many, many, many years ago, when I was married, my ex-wife, when she was in the process of leaving me, she actually cheated on me with my best friend of 17 years. And in the process of leaving me, she was justifying all of her bad behavior. And she told me that I would never change. She said, Eddie, you're never going to change. You're always going to be exactly who you are. And, it's like, look at me now. Right? Like, and even though I wasn't the person doing anything wrong, like, I did obviously in my marriage, but I wasn't the one betraying her. She was the one betraying me in that case. But I've completely radically changed. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because the idea that people can't change is just wrong and it's bullshit. I've been in coaching for several years now, and the whole purpose of my role as a coach is to help people change. And in a lot of cases, to help people change situations and circumstances, if not themselves, where it seems impossible. And just because a certain result or outcome hasn't occurred yet, or because somebody hasn't found a way yet, doesn't mean that they won't or they can't. That's just insanity, right? To believe that people don't change. Change is the only absolute in life. Everything changes. And in fact, for those of you in group number 1 who are like, I'm done with this person, I never want to see or talk to them again, screw them, I don't care about them, that's fine. But even you guys in group number 1 who might think this person can never change, they're always going to be toxic. It's not true. So they will change at some point. And I'm not saying they're going to change for the better per se, but they will change. Like karma never misses an address. So, it's just that whole illusion and that lie and that bullshit that people can't change is not true. I choose to believe in people that choose to believe in themselves. If someone comes to me and they can start to take the position of a powerful person and they can take accountability, and I know and I can sense that they mean it, and they're like, hey, I completely fucked up, I want to change. I want to change my life. And when I know that somebody means it and they're real, then I'm on board. That's a shift. That's a paradigm shift. That's a mindset change. It's like, I've realized that, yeah, I was a shitty person. I was living in a toxic, bad, and terrible life, right? And I was hurting people. I don't want to do that anymore. I want to come over here. I want to heal. I want to change my life. I want love. I want fulfillment. I want happiness. I want peace and prosperity. And I want to treat people the way that I want to be treated. And I want to do good and do good in the world and promote good in the world. I want to be a force of light and love in the world, a force of change, positive change, not negativity, not evil, not darkness, and not bullshit. If a person came to me in that energy, then I would be for them. I would be rooting them on. I'd be like, that's badass. Now you're on your path. Now you're taking your power back. This is the path you're on. Keep going. Keep working. Doesn't matter how far you've dug your hole. You can always dig your way out. Right? Things can change in an instant when a person makes a true decision. When a person takes their power back and they make a powerful decision, everything can change. Now, am I suggesting that is what you guys will all do out there? I don't know what you'll do. That's why it's up to you to decide. But this is essentially where things are between you and whoever this past person is for you. Again, take it as it resonates. If it doesn't resonate, then it just means it wasn't your reading. And like I said, this, again, will probably be good for the next 30 days, maybe a little bit longer, but the intention of this reading is for the next 30 days. Last thing that I want to mention is, again, if you're interested in joining the Collective Consciousness group, go back, watch the presentation, watch the video that I mentioned. You can also find that information in the description box below. I'll link the video there for easy access. And if you have any questions about it, you can reach out to me in email. I'll answer questions or any questions that weren't answered in the presentation. But make sure you go watch that, and would love for you, if it sounds like a good fit for you, would love for you guys to come join us in the Collective Conscious. Hey guys, thank you so much for checking out this video. If you haven't already, please like, share, subscribe to the channel. All the other information is in the description box below. And as always, my friends,
I'm not a bloody psychic.